This is a gigantic tome written by Pablo Hidalgo. This is on DK right now. It's called Star Wars Year by Year. It comes in this really, really elaborate, cool box here. So let's flip through it real quick. Basically, the top-down level of what this book is it takes the franchise that we know so well, Star Wars, and it tells you every single year what was happening, especially through, and you can tell what's happening during the movies and when they're actually developing the stories and creating the films and merchandise and stuff like that. But then it gets into some interesting
This is basically a Star Wars yearbook.
Yeah.
I think this is brilliant because it's essentially a history book. Like I really want to read this because I love understanding pop culture as it pertains to kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? Like the thing you kind of forget is that when Star Wars came out, like the Vietnam War had ended, like 2 years earlier.
Yeah.
So like the kind of the general consensus of like, oh yeah, rebellion, like oh counterculture, like it was drawing from a lot of really kind of intense themes. And we know it as like, oh, it's fantasy in space. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, so as you can see, it gets into all the merchandise, the comics. But one of my favorite times is the kind of, I always call it the Dark Era, which was a couple years after Return of the Jedi and a couple years before the special editions started ramping up again. And we heard about the prequels and stuff like that. And it was really, back then, it was about Star Wars Insider. It was about the toys. It was about the extended universe novels and the comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah, like check this out. Cards. So the fact that, we had Rebel Assault coming out the same year as Doom.
Yeah.
Or that, they're, Micro Machines. And then they were kind of like just starting to toy with.
I had this CD box set, by the way.
And
it was just like, CDs were out and Star Wars was like, how do we get in on this? And they put out a box set of all the classic John Williams scores. And I used to listen to them on like the first CD player my family had, and they skipped a lot.
Yeah, like Terminator 2 and Dark Empire. I really like that, just knowing the context of when stuff happens. So.
Yeah, so this is out now. It's on Amazon. It's $50, but I think it's worth it because it's just like you said, it's a yearbook, but it's a yearbook that covers every year in the history of the franchise. Interesting choice to put Kylo Ren on the cover and Darth Vader on the back, but I like what they're doing here.
Also, if maybe you've got to get stuck doing some kind of school project on a particular year in history or the history of a decade or something, this could be a good piece of information.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, if someone tries to break in your home, you can use it to kill them.
Yeah, or if you want to, you can just paper mache it and use it as a gravestone for a beloved pet.